Welcome back, children. So today we'll be discussing the basic level numericals related to photoelectric emission as well as de Broglie's wavelength. Okay, so to begin with the first question, determine the energy of a photon with wavelength equal to 500 nanometer. So before solving this, so we know E is equal to, okay, from Planck's quantum theory, it is hc by lambda. But this will give the answer for energy in joules. But if you want the answer in electron volts, E is equal to hc by lambda divided by E, that is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. So when you put the value of hc and E, okay, you can remember this relation, which is quite helpful. We get this value as 1240 by lambda. Lambda should be in nanometer. Then you get the energy in terms of electron volts. So remember this very important relation, okay, which helps you in solving the numericals quickly. I again repeat, if lambda is in nanometer, then energy in electron volts is 1240 by lambda. Okay, so you can make use of this formula directly to get the answer in electron volts. I again repeat, please remember this relation, which is quite helpful. Now you can find out the energy in electron volts. Tell me for the first bit, what should be the energy? E is equal to 1240 by wavelength is already in nanometer, that's 500 divided by 500, you get the answer in electron volts. Okay, that's nothing but simplify it. Okay, 2.48 electron volts. But once you get the answer in electron volts, okay, we know we can get the answer in joules. Energy in joules is 2.48 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So that is E is equal to, so multiply 2.48 into 1.6. Okay, what will your answer be? Okay, you get the answer 3.968 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Then for C bit, energy in ergs, E is equal to 3.968 into 10 power minus 19. We know 1 joule is equal to 10 to the power 7 erg. So the answer 3.968 10 to the power minus 12 erg. So I again repeat, if you want the answer directly in electron volts, make use of this relation. Now come to the next bit. There is a radio transmitter which radiates 1 kilowatt of power. Okay, so power is given 1 kilowatt at a wavelength of 200 nanometer. How many photons does it emit per second? See, when you are talking about the photon picture of light, okay, how do we define power? It is energy by time, but here we write it as number of electrons, each having an energy h nu divided by time as power. So power divided by area will give you intensity, but this will be your formula for power. So calculate, power is given 10 power 3. We need to find out the number of electrons emitted per second into hc by lambda. Okay, lambda is already given. So 10 power 3 is n by t, the value of h. Okay, you can put the value of h, c and lambda. H is 6.625, 10 to the power minus 34 into c, 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by wavelength is given 200 nanometer. So 200 into 10 to the power minus 9. So since we need the value of n by t, okay, n by t should be equal to multiply 200 into 10 to the power minus 9 plus 3 is minus 6 divided by 6.625 into 3. Okay, I'll write the power in the numerator. 10 power minus 34 will become 10 to the power plus 34 minus 8. Okay, that's nothing but 2 by 6 5s, 5 3s, 15, Okay, decimal is after 3 places. 19.98 into 10 to the power 34 minus 14. That is 2 by 19.8. I'm approximating it as 20 into 10 to the power 20. That's 1 by 10 into 10 power 20. Okay, so which is nothing but equal to approximately 10 to the power 19 photons per second. So in this particular chapter, calculations are a bit lengthy, but concept is simple. If you remember the relation, you can find out the answer. Okay, look at one more question. This is also related to the photon theory. If 5% of energy supplied to the bulb is radiated as visible light, how many photons are emitted per second by a 100-watt lamp? Okay, so they have given you the power of the lamp as 100 watt. Okay, but we are not utilizing this 100 watt. Only 5% of it is converted into visible light. So 5% of 100, that will be 5 watt. Now I don't think it's a problem. Power is equal to N by T into Hc by lambda. N into H nu by T. I wrote it as N by T into Hc by lambda. So they're asking you to find out the number of photons emitted per second, implies N by T is equal to P into, okay, if I write this as energy, okay, I will divide this with E. Hc by lambda is nothing but energy. Power divided by energy. What is the power? 5 watt. Okay, this time we will calculate the energy because this is given in centimeters. First, let me make use of this formula to find out energy in electron volts. Okay, it's 1240 by lambda in nanometer. See, when I simplify this, what is wavelength? 5 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. That's nothing but 500 nanometer. So calculate energy in electron volts first. 1240 by 500. You will get the answer in electron volts. If you want to convert it into joules, I'll multiply with E. So when we simplify it, it is 124. Okay, I'm putting this value into charge of electron divided by 50. Okay, so hope you can simplify this. It's 250 by 124 into 1 by E. Okay, 250 by 124, it's approximately 2 into the charge of electron. I mean 1 by charge of electron. Okay, we know 1 by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 can be written as 6.25 into 10 to the power 18. So what would your answer be? This is only a mathematical simplification. 13.5 into 10 to the power 18 photons per second. Okay, look at the next question. Work function of photometal is 4 electron volts. Find threshold wavelength and threshold frequency. So whenever you have energy in electron volts, just now I told you what is energy equal to 1240 by lambda in nanometer. I have given you number of questions based on this formula because this is quite helpful in reducing the calculations. So find out first what is the energy given as 4 is 1240. This gives you the threshold wavelength in nanometers. So what is the threshold wavelength in nanometer? Lambda minimum equals to, lambda in nanometer is equal to 1240 divided by 4, that is 310 nanometer. And once you get the wavelength, you can find out the frequency. Okay, we know speed of light, c is equal to nu lambda. So frequency is equal to c by lambda. That is 3 into 10 to the power 8 by 310. Nano I'm writing into 10 to the power minus 9. Okay, so again I'm giving an approximate value. It's 10 power 8 by 10 to the power minus 7, which is nearly 10 to the power 15 hertz. Okay, so this gives you the threshold frequency, and this is going to give you the threshold wavelength. Now from here the questions will be related to photoelectric emission. Okay, what is the photoelectric equation by Einstein? The incident energy is equal to work function plus Ke max. And we know maximum kinetic energy, you can write it in terms of stopping potential as E into V naught. So look at the question. a photon of energy. So incident photon has an energy 6.2 electron volts. It's falling on an aluminium foil whose work function is 4.2 electron volts. This is a given data. They're asking you to find out the threshold wavelength. Okay, how do we get the threshold wavelength? If this is the work function, okay, we know work function phi is equal to hc by lambda naught, where lambda naught is the threshold wavelength. Even now, I'll be making use of the same relation. 4.2 is equal to 1240 by lambda naught, where answer comes in nanometer. So lambda naught is 1240 divided by 4.2. Okay, what is the value? 4.2, 4 table. Okay, it is 310 divided by 1.05. Okay, so approximately 300 nanometer. Now you know what is the threshold wavelength. Now go back to the second bit. Determine the maximum kinetic energy. How to get the maximum kinetic energy? By using Einstein's photoelectric equation. So I will use 6.2 is equal to work function plus Ke max. Okay, h nu is equal to h work function plus Ke maximum. So what is the maximum kinetic energy in electron volts? 6.2 minus 4.2, it is 2 electron volts. If you want, you can leave the answer in electron volts or convert it into joules. Once you get the maximum kinetic energy, stopping potential is easy. See, this number itself gives you the stopping potential. Okay, we know EV naught is kinetic energy in joules. If I write, it's 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Anyway, this 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 and this E gets cancelled. So implies what is the stopping potential? It is 2 volts. Okay, this is a simple question which is based on photoelectric equation. Okay, two radiations of energy 1 and 2.5 electron volts are incident on a photometal with work function 0.5. Find the ratio of their maximum kinetic energy. Again, I'll be using the photoelectric equation. Okay, we know incident energy minus work function will give you kinetic energy. Since we have to take the ratio of kinetic energies, okay, I'll write the equations directly. Incident photon has energy 1 electron volt, work function is 0.5. So what is Ke1 equal to? Kinetic energy for the first radiation is 1 minus 0.5. Then kinetic energy for the second radiation is 2.5 minus 0.5. Take the ratio between them because the question is to compare the kinetic energies. So Ke1 by Ke2 should be 1 minus 0.5 is half divided by 2.5 minus half is 2. I mean 0.5 is 2, which comes out to be 1:4. Okay, look at the next question. A photon of energy h nu is incident on a photometal whose work function is h nu naught. Then maximum kinetic energy is K. If energy of the incident radiation is doubled, they are asking you to find out what is the maximum kinetic energy. Okay, so let us again write the photoelectric equation of Einstein. H nu is equal to work function plus K, because maximum kinetic energy is K. Call this as equation 1. Now you have made it double. Work function is 5. I will call the new kinetic energy as K dash. Call this as equation 2. So we will eliminate the value of h nu from the second equation. So I am going to give the answer in terms of work function and K. So if I eliminate h nu, okay, substitute h nu from equation 1 in equation 2. 2 phi plus 2k is 5 plus k dash. Implies what should be your k dash equal to? K dash is equal to 2 phi minus phi is the work function plus 2k. See, here you can clearly see, since work function of a metal is constant, for a given metal work function is constant, if you are doubling the incident energy, the kinetic energy is not doubled. it has become more than double. See, 5 plus 2k implies the new kinetic energy is not doubled, it has become more than double. If incident energy is double, the resultant kinetic energy becomes greater than 2k. So this is also a question related to photocell. Say a 3 milliwatt of 400 nanometer light is incident on a photoelectric cell. Okay, photoelectric cell is nothing but a photoelectric plate from which we are going to release electrons. But here they are saying only 0.1% of the photons is contributing to the ejection of electrons. So actual power incident on the photocell or the photocathode is 3 milliwatt, 3 into 10 power minus 3 watt. But what is the output power? We are not utilizing 100%. Only 0.1% is utilized. So 3 into 10 power minus 3 into 0.1%. 0.1 by 100. The actual power comes out to be 3 into 10 to the power minus 6 watt. And we know we can write this power as N by T into h nu. This is equal to 3 into 10 to the power minus 6. As many photons are incident on the metal, the same will be the number of electrons. So first we will find out what is this number of electrons emitted per 1 second. So what is N by T equal to? 3 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by h nu. So here I will be using this relation. We know energy in electron volts is 1240 by lambda in nanometer. Lambda is 400, but remember we get the energy in which units? Electron volts. Simplify it. Okay, 3.1 electron volt. If energy is 3.1 electron volt, in joules I can write it as 3.1 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So I'll keep it as it is. So what is the number of photons incident on the surface which are releasing electrons? It is 3 into 10 to the power minus 6 by, I'm writing the value of energy in joules, 3.1 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So cancel off this 3. 1 by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 is 6.25 into 10 power 18 and minus 6. So how many photons are released per second? I mean how many electrons are released per second? It is 6.25 into 10 to the power 12 electrons per second. But the question is to calculate the current. Okay, how do we write the current? N into Q by T. Total charge by total time. Okay, we know the charge of electron. N by T is 6.25 into 10 power 12 multiplied with the charge of electron. Okay, here I will write it's 6.25 into 10 to the power 12 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So current comes out to be say 6.25 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 7 ampere. Okay, you can multiply these two values. Okay, what is 6.25 into 1.6? Okay, just multiply, you will get the value as 1 or 10. Okay, answer comes out to be 10 into 10 power minus 7. That's nothing but 10 to the power minus 6 ampere. Okay, which is 1 micro amp. Okay, photocurrent is very, very small, which is about 1 microampere. Okay, look at this question. The maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons with light of incident frequency nu is capital E. So what is the kinetic energy if frequency is doubled? Okay, so I will write two equations. First, let it be h nu is equal to 5 plus E. Second time, you have doubled the frequency. 2h nu is equal to, work function will not change. Let the new maximum kinetic energy of electrons be E dash. So eliminate h nu from first equation. 2 times of 5 plus E is 5 plus E dash, or 2 5 plus 2E is 5 plus E dash, implies what is the new kinetic energy equal to 2 5 plus 2E minus 5, where 5 is the work function and a constant. So it's 5 plus 2E. Okay, tell me what will be the new kinetic energy then. Is it doubled or more than double? Okay, it should be greater than 2E. Okay, two identical photocathodes are receiving light of frequencies F1 and F2. If velocity of the photoelectrons of mass m coming out are V1 and V2, then you have to find the equation for V1 square minus V2 square. So even this is based on Einstein's photoelectric equation. See, first time two identical cathodes, that means they have the same work function. Incident frequencies are different. So HF1, incident energy, is work function. That maximum kinetic energy, I will write it as half mv1 square. Then for the second frequency, 5 plus, kinetic energy will become half m into v2 square. Since we want v1 square minus v2 square from these two relations, throughout this relation we multiply with 2 by m. So 2 hf, okay, from this equation I am writing 2 hf1 by m minus 2 by m into 5 should be equal to v1 square. Similarly, multiply this relation also with 2 by m. 2 hf2 by m minus 2 phi by m is v2 square. Since we want v1 square minus v2 square, subtract the two relations. Okay, here I will subtract. This is minus, plus and minus. This term will get cancelled. So 2h by m into f1 minus f2 gives you v1 square minus v2 square. So this is your required equation for v1 square minus v2 square, where v1 and v2 are the velocity of the electrons, that is maximum velocity of electrons coming out. Okay, so find the nature of graph plotted between stopping potential versus frequency. They are asking you three different graphs. Okay, first let us start with Einstein's photoelectric equation. H nu is equal to 5 plus, in terms of stopping potential, I'll write it as E into V naught. See, from here write the equation in terms of V naught. V naught is H nu by E minus phi divided by E. So if V naught is taken on y-axis and frequency on x-axis, it comes out to be in the form y is equal to mx minus c. So what is the slope? H by E. In the place of m, we have h divided by E. So the nature of graph for the first bit will be a straight line with a positive slope and a negative intercept with frequency on x-axis, stopping potential on y-axis. Okay, this is the first graph. Next is kinetic energy versus frequency. So when you plot it against kinetic energy, again I'll start with the relation. H nu is 5 plus K max. So what is the maximum kinetic energy of electrons equal to? H nu minus 5. This we are taking on y-axis, frequency on x-axis. It is in the form y is equal to mx minus c, again a straight line, but having a slope equal to h. So here slope is h. In this case we have got the slope h by e in the previous case. Now the nature of graph is same. Straight line with a positive slope and a negative intercept between K max and frequency, but the slope is equal to h. This is for bit, which bit? B bit. Now look at C bit. Kinetic energy versus 1 by lambda. Again I will write this relation in terms of lambda. Hc by lambda, incident radiation, is work function plus K max. Okay, or K max is equal to Hc by lambda minus phi. We are taking maximum kinetic energy on y-axis, 1 by lambda on x-axis. So in the place of m, I have h into c minus c. So for c bit, tell me what should be the nature of the graph. Are we getting a same nature? It is still a straight line. K max on y-axis, 1 by lambda on x-axis. It's a straight line passing through, having a negative intercept, not passing through origin. But what is there in the place of slope? This time slope is h into c. So depending on which graph you're plotting, the slopes will be different. See, a photocell is illuminated by a source of light, okay, which is placed at a distance d from the cell. If distance becomes d by 2, then the number of electrons emitted per second. See, as distance of the source is going away, intensity also will decrease. Okay, intensity obeys inverse square law. So if distance is reduced to half, intensity will reduce to 1/4. Okay, the new intensity becomes 1/4 of the previous. If intensity decreases, we know photocurrent also decreases. So what happens to the number of photoelectrons? It will decrease to 1/4 of initial value. Okay, now coming to a few questions which are related to de Broglie's wavelength. So before we start solving, okay, what did I tell you regarding de Broglie's wavelength? You can write it in terms of momentum as h by p, in terms of kinetic energy, because momentum is under root 2m into ke. This is in terms of kinetic energy. In terms of accelerated potential, 2m into q into potential through which it is accelerated. And in terms of temperature, it's h by under root 3m Boltzmann constant into absolute scale of temperature. So in this question, I have given you three particles. Determine the ratio of de Broglie wavelength of proton. How do we represent a proton? 1h1, deuteron 1d2 or 1h2. Then alpha particle is 2he4. So before you start, these numbers will give you the charge. Atomic number tells about the charge. And mass number will tell you about the mass. So if mass of proton is 1 unit, deuteron is double, and that of alpha particle is triple. So using this condition, let us solve the given question. They're asking you to find the de Broglie wavelength of these three particles ratio if they possess a bit, same momentum. Look at the first equation. If momentum is constant, then lambda is also constant. H is anywhere constant. These two are constants. So for a bit, lambda of proton is to lambda of deuteron is to lambda of alpha particle will be in the ratio 1:1:1. Now for b bit, if they have same kinetic energy. Now look at the second equation. H is constant. They have the same kinetic energy. Lambda is inversely related to square root of mass. So lambda is proportional to 1 by square root of mass. Implies lambda of proton is to deuteron is to alpha is 1 by square root of mass of proton 1 unit, deuteron 2 units. Okay, this number is to 1 by square root of 4. So on simplification, you can write it as 1 by root 2 is to 1 by 2, or you can multiply throughout with 2 and further simplify it as 2 is to root 2 is to 1. Then come to C bit. They have same, if they are accelerated through the same potential. If all the three particles are accelerated through the same potential, how is lambda related to m and q? H constant, 2 constant, V is also constant. So for C bit, wavelength is proportional to 1 by square root of m into q. Implies lambda of proton is to deuteron is to alpha particle is 1 by square root of 1 into 1, 1. 1 by square root of 2 into 1, 2. 1 by square root of 4 into 2, that is 8. So what is the ratio? 1 is to 1 by root 2 is to 1 by 2 root 2. Either you can simplify or leave it. Okay, now D bit. If they are at same temperature, see if temperature is constant for all of them, H is also constant, Kb is also constant. So how is lambda again related to mass? Lambda is proportional to 1 by square root of mass. See, already in B bit we have got the same relation. If lambda is proportional to inversely related to square root of mass, what is the ratio we have got? Lambda of proton is to deuteron is to alpha particle. It comes in the ratio 2 is to root 2 is to 1. Okay, your answer is same for B and D bits. Look at this question. An explosive at rest explodes into two particles with masses in the ratio m1 is to m2. What is the ratio of their de Broglie wavelength? Okay, we know from conservation of linear momentum, whenever an explosive explodes into two particles, m1 and m2, they will have velocities v1 and v2. And since initial momentum is 0, final momentum also should be 0. Okay, we will get m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. Since the two particles have same momentum, so what is de Broglie wavelength? It is h by p. If momentum of the two particles is same, so de Broglie wavelength of the two particles will be in the ratio 1 is to 1. This is a simple but very important model. Then a proton is projected into a perpendicular magnetic field B. Determine the de Broglie wavelength if the radius of circular path is r. Okay, we know whenever a particle is projected into a perpendicular magnetic field, it experiences magnetic force. So what is the magnetic force? It is Q into V into, okay, magnetic force is QVB, and this magnetic force supplies the necessary centripetal force. So I can write mv square by r is QVB. So what is the radius of, from here 1v and v gets cancelled. Okay, I will get mv is equal to q into r into b. But we need de Broglie wavelength. Okay, what is de Broglie wavelength? H by mv. Replace mv as charge of particle, proton, radius into applied magnetic field. So the de Broglie wavelength is h by q into r into b. A particle of mass m is decaying into small m and m minus m. The de Broglie wavelength of the particles is in the ratio. Say during a decay, if the total mass is m, so if it is decaying as m and m minus m, these two particles possess the same momentum. Okay, if it is emitting a particle of mass m, then the remaining particle will recoil such that their momentums are equal. As long as their momentums are equal, what will be their de Broglie wavelength? It will remain as 1 is to 1. So look at this question. There is a photometal having a work function phi naught. When light of wavelength lambda is incident on it, the fastest photoelectron has a de Broglie wavelength lambda d. Okay, determine that if the change in incident wavelength is delta lambda, then the change in de Broglie wavelength is delta lambda d. And we want the ratio of these changes. So first let us write the photoelectric equation. So when your incident wavelength is lambda, work function is phi plus Ke max. But since we want the de Broglie wavelength, we know de Broglie wavelength in terms of maximum kinetic energy is lambda is equal to h by under root 2m into Ke. So from here I can write lambda square is equal to h square by 2m into Ke. Implies what is the maximum or kinetic energy equal to h square by 2m lambda square. Substitute that in this relation. Hc by lambda equals to work function is a constant plus h square by 2m into, I'll call this de Broglie wavelength as lambda d. Okay, because incident wavelength we took lambda. This is lambda d square. Now since there is a change in this, I will differentiate this relation. Hc into differential of 1 by lambda is minus 1 by lambda square into delta lambda should be work function, it's a constant, plus h square by 2m I'll write outside. Differential of 1 by lambda d square, what will it be? Lambda d whole to the power minus 2, it is minus 2 by lambda d cube into delta lambda d. Since we need the ratio between delta lambda d and delta lambda, simplify this relation. Delta lambda d by delta lambda, this term by this term should be, minus will anyway get cancelled, okay, hc by lambda square, okay, bring it to the denominator, divided by, okay, whole divided by these terms, that is 2h square divided by, okay, shift it, 2h square divided by 2m lambda d cube. See, 2 and 2 will anyway get cancelled, reverse the fraction, hc by lambda square into m lambda d cube divided by h square. Okay, you can remove one h, so we get this ratio, change in de Broglie wavelength when incident wavelength changes should be mc by lambda square into lambda d cube divided by h. So this gives you the ratio of change in de Broglie wavelength to change in incident wavelength. An electron is moving with a speed v0 is subjected to an electric field E0 I cap. Okay, so assume that this is an electron with an initial speed v0 along x-axis. Now you are applying an electric field, this also in positive x direction. Okay, let this be the negative plate, and this is an electron which is negatively charged. What is the magnitude of the applied electric field? E0 in positive I cap, positive x-axis. Now tell me what would happen when you project an electron towards a negative plate. We know when electron is moving towards a negatively charged plate, its speed will decrease. So after t seconds, I can write its velocity as initial speed is v0 minus at because it is decelerating. And this is the acceleration or deceleration, whatever it is produced due to electric field. Okay, we know electrostatic force is E into small e. So ma is equal to capital E into small e. What is the acceleration? Capital E into small e by m. So in the place of a, I am writing capital E into small e by m into t. But they want you to calculate the de Broglie wavelength. So what will be the de Broglie wavelength after t seconds? Lambda dash is equal to h by mv. That is h by m into v0 minus small e into capital E by m into t. Remove m0 outside, v0 outside, h by m v0 into 1 minus small e into capital E by m by v0 into t. But this h by m v0 is the initial de Broglie wavelength. So I will write it as lambda naught divided by 1 minus small e into capital E by m into t. So this gives you the de Broglie wavelength. Now electron of mass m and a photon have same energy. Okay, we know energy. It's given that energy of electron is equal to energy of photon, which is taken as capital E. Then if mass of photon is given in the question, what is the ratio of their de Broglie wavelength? So first I will write the de Broglie wavelength of electron in terms of kinetic energy. It's under root 2m into capital E. Call this as equation 1. And regarding a photon, we know energy lambda of a photon, we can write it as hc by E. Okay, where E is energy. We know energy is hc by lambda, so the wavelength is hc divided by E. This is for a photon. Call this as equation 2. They want you to find the ratio between them. So what is the ratio? Lambda E by lambda of photon is, h will anyway get cancelled. This E goes to, okay, 1 by under root 2m into capital E divided by C by E, or lambda if electron by lambda of photon is equal to E by C under root 2m into capital E. Okay, you can remove one E by applying the root. So it's 1 by C under root E by 2m, or you can write it as 1 by C into E by 2m whole to the power half.